And just for the record, Owen, I'd rather die than be with you. Just for the record. Owen said, take a shot every time Molly says something stupid as Molly said, guys, my cat was just diagnosed with suckundies. Joyce said, what does that mean? I said, shut up. Owen said, trust me. Molly said, don't my stepdad, please. Hi. Today we're doing something a little ludicrous. I'm gonna be reading you some text messages from old group chats that I have from my old toxic high school friend group. If you don't want to hear this and you just want to see the text messages, feel free to skip ahead. There's chapters on this. But I'm just gonna explain our dynamic a little bit here so that you kind of get why this was a toxic friend group. When we all became friends, I don't have lip gloss on. Hold on. If it's not one thing, it's another. When we all became friends, we used to tease each other a lot, let's say. That was kind of like our group dynamic, okay? And that's fine. However, the problem is we never established boundaries at the beginning of our friendship. So obviously, sometimes feelings would get hurt. That happens in any sort of, friendship, relationship, family dynamic, anything. Like, feelings will get hurt, and that's, it happens. However, the problem with this friend group was if somebody would hurt your feelings, majority of the people in it, I would say there was like 2 or 3 standouts in particular, instead of just being like, oh my gosh, like, my bad, I didn't mean to hurt your feelings, and then just not making a joke like they made prior again, they would like double down and be like, oh my god, why are you so dramatic? Like, why do you take everything personally? And it's like, you literally just hurt my feelings. All you have to do is just say sorry. That's kind of where the toxicity came from. So I'm gonna read you some texts from that. I did change everyone's names, so let's get to it, shall we? When I read these, I'm going to say so-and-so said, and then read their message just so you have a better ability to follow what I'm saying, because sometimes I don't think I make any sense. So that's how we're gonna do this. Owen said, I think I've said this before, but the only thing I can say about Pocahontas is that Mr. Don't worry about it, in 7th and 8th grade would always go, Pocahontas, and everyone would burst out laughing because it seemed okay to us, but literally, no, it wasn't. Liam said, Owen. I said, stop. Liam said, I want you. Owen said, I know. I said, Mr. Don't worry about it. Liam said, to Pocahontas. Mr. Don't worry about it lives on my street. And just for the record, Owen, I'd rather die than be with you. Just for the record. This is a different group chat now. There's a lot of these. Austin said, guys, there's too many of these. Take a drink every time Molly subtly references one of these group chats. I said, no. Owen said, take a shot every time Molly says something stupid as So, this is in reference to this one particular night at Austin's house. There was like maybe 6 or 7 of us at Austin's house, all watching a movie. And for some reason, we started making group chats where we'd say, take a shot when something random. And I'm not kidding, there was like 25 of them. And they were all like this. They were ridiculous. We were all sitting next to each other. So that's why Austin said there's too many of these. This is just the only one that I really felt the need to include because the other ones were stupid. Molly said, take a shot every time Liam takes his anger out on Sarah like she's a human punching bag. I said, take a shot every time Owen takes money off his mom's credit card and spends it without telling her. Owen said, take a shot every time Owen asks Sarah to do his homework. Molly said, take a shot every time Owen uses his mom's credit card to buy gardening supplies. I said, take a shot every time Owen wears the same pair of pants 3 days in a row. Owen said, take a shot every time I say, shut the fuck up. This Owen using his mom's credit card thing wasn't a joke. One time I went to Home Depot with him. He made me go to Home Depot with him. And he spent $400 with his mom's card on gardening supplies and just did not check with her beforehand. I mean, when you have a person that doesn't treat their parents with respect, they're certainly not going to treat random friends with respect. So this is one of the few that I mentioned earlier that would not apologize if you told them that they hurt your feelings. Molly said, take a shot for every day Sarah has missed science. I'm not even going to get into it right now. That has its own video coming soon. Then Molly said, take a shot every time I open the thing next to me and there's socks in it. Austin's couch had one of those like coolers in it, but they used to keep socks in it. Or at least this particular time. I actually don't know if it was like a regular thing that they did. I said, take a shot every time a teacher at our school says she can't be in school because she's tired. Take a shot every time John Lennon speaks. Molly speaks, actually. Molly had this pair of glasses that just had like the round frames, and we just kept telling her she looked like John Lennon this night, I guess, was the vibe. I'm not reading this one. You can pause to read this. The internet is forever. I'm not saying this out loud. Get this video to 100,000 views and I'll read this out loud. It doesn't say who said that, but I can almost guarantee that it was Molly also. Then Molly says, take a shot every time your phone suggested word thing says take a shot every time. And I said, ha. I said, take a shot every time Owen's late. Owen said, take a shot every time I tell you to eat my... Molly's, oh my god, there's a lot of these. Molly said, take a shot every time you wake up to a new group chat. Joyce said, well, Molly's up. We have a new person, Joyce. Molly said, if you don't... Molly said, if you don't answer, you're at 4:36 p.m. And then at 6:19 p.m., Sean said, sorry, I took a depression nap. There was like 8 people in this group chat, and I'm sure that we all ignored her on purpose just because we thought it'd be funny. Molly said, guys, my cat was just diagnosed with suckundies. Joyce said, what does that mean? I said, shut up! Owen said, eats too much sugar? Molly said, suckundies. Owen said, stop! I know! I got it! I said, Joyce is getting Sean a card game now too. Don't know why I had to make a new group chat just to say that, but what's done is done, LMAO. Molly said, no, LMAO. I said, yes! Owen said, no. Guys. Austin said, LOL, yes. I got him a card game called For the Girls, an adult party game. Owen said, Austin, that was so 23 minutes ago. Austin said, I'm gonna punch you. Owen said, get with the times. Molly said, I got him chaos. Austin, I almost got him that. And Austin said, LMFAO. I don't remember exactly what holiday it was. I don't know if it was Sean's. Is that what I named him? I don't know if it was Sean's birthday or if it was Christmas. But I'm pretty sure like 7 of us all got Sean a card game. Okay, different group chat. Liam said, suck my then. Oscar said, this is Oscar. Sean said, fight me. I said, I don't remember asking Oscar. Oscar said, shut the f up. Mia said, who said Susan Boyle? And I said, I will not be silenced. I think this is yet another time a new group chat was made. Oscar was not actually a part of this particular friend group that I'm referencing in this video, but he would like hang out with us sometimes. I guess we were put into a group chat where we were like not knowing everybody and had to, like you get added to a group chat and you have to do that thing where they're like, who's, 234, whose phone number is, 512 or something, whatever, and everybody has to go around and say their names. I'm pretty sure that's what this was. I don't remember asking Oscar. Shut the f up. This one kills me. This one kills me. This is the only one that I remember because it was so funny when I found it. Okay, Molly named the conversation this thing. She named the conversation this, okay? You see it takes up the whole page. And then Owen immediately renamed the conversation to whatever that is. And Molly said, I thought Joyce would appreciate it. What the f? This one takes me out because this particular person, Molly, she had a very distinct way of exclaiming things. I can hear her in my mind still. There's a lot of swearing in this. I'm gonna have to put like a sparkle sound or something because I've been trying not to swear as much. Joyce said, I was thinking realistically, if I would have one superpower, I would be close to Elsa with my ice powers because I could shoot ice out of my hands and use the water in the air for snow and ice. But the only pain that comes with my superpower is that I'm always cold, which is accurate. And with my mood swings, I would be dangerous because if I just got super mad, I would just shoot out ice. But if I'm depressed or sad, there would just be a gradual freeze. Then she said, wait, Elsa, I want to be Frozone. Brooke, we haven't seen Brooke yet. Brooke said, I wish this is how I asked Sarah last year. Okay, for the context, it would not let me download whatever link or video she sent right before that. That's what she's talking about, but I know what she's talking about. Our friend group was all seniors this year, except for me, Liam, and Sean. out of our group of senior friends, the ones that didn't have like actual dates to bring to their senior prom, they each took one of us. So Sean took, no, what am I saying? Owen took Sean, Brooke brought me, and then we had another friend that brought Liam. But that's what Brooke is talking about. The way that Brooke asked me to go to prom with her was she got me a smoothie from Panera that I loved, and they don't have it anymore. At least not by me, which that's unfortunate. It was like a blueberry pomegranate smoothie. Oh my god. It was so good. She bought me one of those and then took like a piece of notebook paper and just wrote prom with a question mark on it and then just taped it to the cup. I still have that paper. I keep everything that has ever happened in my life. I have. So yeah, Brooke said, I wish this is how I asked Sarah last year. Said, I would have loved that, but the drink was just as good. Brooke said, thanks. I said, no problemo, sister. This was during the era, the James Charles, like, sisters. I've never seen a James Charles video, and I don't really, like, revel in the idea of ever doing so. But we used to say that, and then, like, the habit of saying sister turned into shister. We had to add SH because it was more fun to say it that way, I guess. So I said that. And I said, thanks for the drink, LOL. I feel like I never thanked you when you asked me, so I'ma do it now. Okay. Brooke said, haha, you're welcome. Although I should thank you for going with me. I said, yeah, but I gotta thank you for running around with me to get my sheet signed so I could go. You needed to have your teacher sign off on it to say that you were passing and you could go to prom. Joy said, this is getting sappy. Stop. Brooke said, yes, but I should thank you for not giving up even though it looked like you might not have been able to go. I said, okay, but I haven't thanked you yet for taking me in the first place, so thank you for taking me. I said, also, how did this even start happening? Brooke said, but you're not letting me thank you for giving me the idea to ask you. She said, and I don't know, but I love it. I said, maybe so, but you aren't letting me thank you for driving. Brooke said, okay, but you have to let me thank you for giving me the opportunity to get me picture taken with you. Brooke was known for typos. She had these really long nails, and she was the typo queen. Now apparently me too. Apparently I'm the typo princess because I'm about to have one here. I said, I don't know, but I still have to thank you for sitting at the table with me. Brooke said, oh, you're welcome. Thank you for sitting with me and thank you for enjoying the yummy meat kebabs with me. They served kebabs at prom. I said, you are welcome too. I also have the thank you to end all thank yous. So thank you for being my friend. Brooke said, F you. Thank you for being in my life. I said, thank you for existing. And then nothing. Brooke said, thank you for making me exist. I said, girl, what? I am confusion. Oh dear. Brooke said, you're not supposed to know this, but I'm not real. I'm you imaginary friend. You brought me into existence. And in you need for me, I became a real girl. I said, ugh, why does this always happen? Brooke said, there are more of my kinda? There are more of my kinda. I said, there have been. Brooke says, brothers or sisters? I said, yes, there has been both. Brooke said, oh my, I have a family. I said, yes, they're just spread out. You must find them. Brooke said, will you let me meet them one day? I said, if you can find them. And then she sent that emoji. And then she said, what the f are we doing? I said, this is now another writing prompt about an imaginary friend seeking their imaginary family members. I don't know. Said, we're an actual mess, but I love it, LOL. Brooke said, oh yes, I feel like I'm drugs. I haven't done this kind of stupid shit in a while. I said, I feel, LOL. Also, you are a shapeshifter, you're drugs now? Brooke said, oh god, oh no. What if someone tries? What if someone tries to take me? Are they gonna burn me alive? I said, well, what kind of drug are you? She said, what if they just eat me whole? I don't know, Sarah. I said, if you're a powder, you can disperse into the wind and then make yourself come back together when it's safe. Brooke said, okay, good idea. I said, yay. It's like a passive defense. Different group chat now. Molly said, SOS, help, emergency. Owen said, what? Question mark, question mark, question mark. Molly said, it's not urgent. Brooke said, bruh, It was like this all the time. These don't seem that bad. I understand these probably don't seem that bad. We've had like real actual blowout fights. I couldn't put those in here because there was like too much personal information and I don't like hate any of these people, you know? I think these are chaotic and funny enough. I think they paint the picture just fine. But this is what it was always like. And Molly did this thing. She wouldn't say anything in the group chats like all day, right? Somebody else would go in there and they would say something. They'd be like, oh guys, like I was just at the movies. I saw this really cool movie. And then we'd all start, okay, one more time. We'd all start answering the other person and be like, oh, like what movie did you go see? Like, oh, like whatever. We'd get into a conversation and then Molly would all of a sudden join in and try to change the subject immediately to be about her. She'd be like, guys, guess what happened to me today? We're in the middle of the conversation. Like, but it wasn't just like 2 or 3 times this happened. It was every time. Different group chat, okay? Austin said, Sarah is at a college party that I'm at and I'm the big uncomfy. I said, I'm literally older than you. LMAO. No hate to theater kids, okay? I was a theater kid, but this was a theater kid college party that I went to. I've never seen so many people be bad at cup pong. And I'm not kidding. I was sitting on the couch directly across from where the table was that they were playing, and every single shot coming towards my direction rolled to the couch and I had to throw it back every single time. Molly said, LMAO. Sean said, no, this time I fight with Sarah. I said, let's all break off into pairs and fight. Whoever loses each round advances to the next. Whoever wins. Molly said, stop, LMAO. Anyone who goes against Sarah automatically loses. I said, I'm coming for y'all. Molly said, you have to compete in emojis of each other. Oh my god. Listen, I don't have a reason to do it anymore. The drama in my life, I have cut it out completely. Like, there's no need for it. But I am a very patient person when it comes to other people. I have let people treat me bad for years and years and years before I stood up for myself, which is not a good thing, but I have to mention that to point out the fact that if you push me to a certain point, it's over and you're going to wish you didn't know me because I am going to rip you to shreds. I hate to say it, probably not my best quality. Again, it doesn't just come out over minor inconveniences. I'm talking like if I find out that like you're making fun of one of my friends or somebody in my family, or you just like really seriously like get on my nerves, and not even get on my nerves, like you piss me off. I can read people like I'm the author of their story, all right? So I'm just saying that's what she's talking about. I said, y'all, I'm about to watch Blaine get rock salt thrown in his eyes. Molly said, stop. Brooke said, yo, I for real thought someone was outside my room off. I was scared as fuck. Hell. She said, it was just water dripping from my roof, but still my heart stopped for a second. And this one, I said, nah, David can just ask SeatGeek to bribe the cops for him. Molly said, low-key, let's leave Kyle in here so he can watch the chaos ensue. Kyle said, what chaos? Kyle was Molly's boyfriend at the time. Austin said, does that mean I should pick a fight with Brooke or Owen again? Molly said, LMAO, or should I fight with Owen? Austin said, or Brooke could fight with Owen. Or Sarah could fight with Owen. Wow, we really hate Owen. Oh god, I forgot about this. Owen said, Molly, what's your stepdad's number? Molly said, why? Owen said, trust me. Molly said, don't f my stepdad, please. Owen said, ew. I said, don't ask questions, just give. This was later. Owen said, guys, want to see my frozen I left it outside. Molly said, guys, I Molly's stepdad. LOL. Brooke said, I knew Owen was a bottom. Owen said, I'm joking, LOL. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that last one. There's no way. Context for this one was we were trying to make plans and I accidentally picked Austin's birthday to go because I forgot it was his birthday for like 5 seconds. Austin said, yo, I'd go if you didn't go on my birthday. Owen said, bahaha. I didn't plan that. The emojis, love you, and then the heart. I said, move your birthday then. JK LMAO. Okay, so then Saturday the 16th. Here we go. Oh god, I'm scared. Molly said, Brooke and I just double smooched on FaceTime. Owen said, I am being haunted. Psychographic data targeting. Sarah, remind me to type, I am in desperate need of milk. Molly said, huh? Austin said, isn't it a little early to be high, Owen? Owen said, I'm in class, ho. Now, like I mentioned before, Brooke I don't know about now, I don't know these people anymore, but Brooke really liked having long nails. Like she loved doing her nails. And so that's what this is about. Brooke said, "I'm not like you, Molly. You need your nails short. I need them long." "Love you too." I said, "Your nails are still longer than mine if that makes you feel any better." Brooke said, "It doesn't." She had broken one of them. I remember, I don't know if it was this time or a different time in particular, but her nails were probably like this long, like her natural nails, and it like broke down to her finger and she nail glued both sides of it. Like she was not letting it go, I remember. I bought her like a lot of, I don't know, a little over 100 nail polishes one time for Christmas because she loved doing her nails. Last but not least here, I figure we finish off with me kind of being a jerk. I don't want it to, you know. Owen said, well, I'm also being made fun of here, but it's fine. Owen said, "Tell me why this Sarah is in my food chemistry class and suppressing her cough. Bro, just cough." I said, "Shut the up." Listen, my anxiety used to be so bad. I taught myself how to sneeze silently because I figured like it would be less irritating. As if a sneeze would irritate somebody in class. I would sit in class and sneeze silently. And that probably actually was more distracting because I was just like going like that, you know, like the motion you make when you sneeze. I was doing that silently, so people probably like saw me out of the corner of their eyes and was like, "What is she doing?" But taught myself how to do that. So this particular time I think I skipped school and I for some reason sat in one of Owen's college classes with him and I didn't want to cough. I wasn't even supposed to be there. I was just suppressing it, I guess. I think we're all done here. Next week's video. It's a doozy. Horrible. I feel gross. I feel gross from it. That's enough about next week, though. We're talking about this week. If you enjoyed this week's video, please feel free to like and subscribe. Maybe even leave a little comment. I don't know what you would say for this video, but maybe if you can think of something or just say something random, whatever you feel like, feel free to do those things. I always appreciate it. I upload new videos every single Monday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good rest of your day, night, week, month, year, life, all of it.